Alrighty, so this is the first room that I've made in my level. So over here we have a green computer, and this is to show that the player should go this way. We also have some decoration in the corner to add some depth to the room in general. I've made this beacon model using a range of meshes to make it feel like it is meant to be a space station, and I used that same methodology to make the engine model in the corner. To just add detail to the space shuttle to make it feel like it should be there. And there's also this gap in the middle. This just gives it some extra depth and some level to it. So over here we now have some moving platforms. This adds some puzzle elements into the level early on, and the player must move correctly in order to get past them and to the next part of the level. Then these 4 glowing green lights to signal the player should be going this way. Then you see we have a locked door, and there's a basic button there. The player presses that button, and once they press that button, they will then be able to enter through that locked door. There's a colour change here to signify that. We then have this corridor, and there's bright lights there to show which way the player should be going, and this navigates them correctly around the map in general. And then we get to our first challenge room, which is where the main turrets are located. So there's 3 main turrets here, and they all have shotgun blasts coming out of them. And the idea is that the player must dodge these bullets in order to get to the next room, which is the lock room. This is where pretty much the basic lock button is located, and if they link this back to where they were, they'll realise that this button links to the locked door that they just walked past, and they'll make that correlation and they'll be able to walk past the turrets and back to the door, which will now be open. The player now follows this corridor, following the lights once again, to get to the first weapon room. This is where the player can find the first new weapon, which is the meteor cannon. And there's some ammo tops and some lighting in here to build up this room a little bit. And then in the room opposite this is where the first enemy is present. And this is so the player can test out that weapon. Once they test out the weapon, they'll become familiar with it. And as you can see in the top, they then have a multiplier that goes up. And this furthers that a little bit more. We then have some more meshes in this room, which adds to the boiler room. So we have some dynamite in the corner and the main boiler itself, and this just adds some depth to the room. And we also have some pipes and some other sources of light, which are presented here, to just convey that fact of it being a space shuttle and to add that detail. Here we have another lock room, and this is once again where the player can go in here, press the button, and they can link that correlation back to the locked door, and once they do that, they can then pass through it. There are also, during this area, spotlights on the floor. This further conveys that they should be going this way. Once again, another new weapon is here, which they can collect the ammo, and they can test it on an enemy that's about to come up at the top of the map. And this is pretty much the fuel room. So as you can see, I've made this fuel mesh, using the meshes in the game, and that presents that. Further spotlights on the floor to show this, and then we get to a new room. This is the main enemy room for the level. Multiple different enemies are found here. This gives the player some action. Instead of just puzzle elements, this now gives them some action in the game, with some harder enemy types too. So since they've tested the previous guns, they can then further this knowledge and use them a little bit more, get to grips with them more, before the final boss battle at the end. This isn't the main enemy spawn point. This again was a mesh created by myself using assets, and as they cross the bridge over there, they get access to another weapon, which will allow them to use them further in the game. This is the launcher, and they can also once again press the button that will open the locked door, and this is where they then enter the new planet and exit the space shuttle. So that's when they cross the bridge, and this adds that realism into the game really, that they can cross the bridge and enter this new planet. New enemies are here, which is great. This adds some more detail to the level, adds some more challenge. And as you can see, there are 2 bridges here. There's a longer walkway, and this will allow the player to explore another area and gain more pickups before moving on to the final boss. But if we move over here, this is the smaller walkway. Now, though this is easy to get across, it comes at a cost because they don't get to gain the health or the ammo or the weapons on the way to the boss. So you can see the player can cross this, and you can see kind of that level of field and that depth below, which really creates the realism. There's a small enemy there, and as they walk up, they then get the final weapon of the game. There it is. That is the plasma gun. It's the most powerful weapon in the game, but it does come at the cost of not having many bullets, so they've got to be accurate with this one. Then we move over the final conveyor belts, and we get to the final boss level. This is where multiple enemies can be found of different shapes and sizes, and this is the final challenge for the player of the game. The idea here is they can dodge all the attacks by hiding behind those dirt walls. They must kill all the enemies, pass the final enemy, which is the final boss, and get to that final green screen at the end. So you can see here, you can dodge the enemy, they can attack you, and the idea is you can get really close and get far away. That enemy will attack you, and by the end of it, you'll see, there we go, you go around the side, and you get to that final level complete area, where the player completes the level, the loot has been collected, and you can see the score, and that is the game.